Okay, here we have Polygon symbol MATIC versus the dollar from Mr. Jack Assman. We're going to be looking at a daily and a 4-hour and then maybe some of the other higher term timeframes. So we have a very similar setup here to what we have on Bitcoin, right? In the sense that you have your range highs. They are once again getting rejected at about 174, 175 region, which I actually would call a range resolution to the upside in this case, with even a 4-hour closure above about 175, with targets up, somewhere around 195 to maybe even as much as 205. So that is a rather nice move right here. Let me just kind of highlight this area out. Something like this, what I'd be looking for if that condition were validated. But for right now, I mean, this is, to be fair, this is actually a continuation of a downside setup. I mean, you got another test of the 55 on low volatility. Now it is rising up. You see your momentum also is pointing down, so that's not great. But ultimately, I have the same thing to say about Bitcoin in the sense that, I would be cautious of looking for major downside continuation, even though there certainly may be over a long enough time period, let's say into like maybe March, what's the month after March? Don't know. But, in that sort of a time frame, April, whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyways, I would still be looking at about 143 as a bit of a short, not even a short term, but a medium term time frame base. So as long as you're above there, I do suspect, short term downside moves, not too threatening unless you're very concerned about, that right now, which maybe you are, maybe not, I don't know. But if you do start to see closures below there, then yes, I would be looking for the next leg down, somewhere around about $1.25 to $1.20, which is a rather big move on a $1.50 number. Until then, what's more likely to happen right here? Do you get another bounce above this region? I kind of think so, essentially alongside Bitcoin. But until those conditions are validated, it's just, it's just hopium, to be fair. But what is kind of rounding out that sort of analysis? We do see BBWP reaching extremes here after a pretty hefty move to the downside. Once you see something like that, typically you're going to see a little bit of a bounce, which we, of course, are getting right now. But, well, I mean, we are getting that right now, to be fair. So perhaps that is the bounce. Perhaps that's a continuation of the bounce. Let's go check it out from a stochastic momentum perspective. I really want to see where the daily is specifically, and then maybe check out the monthly as well. So let's go to the daily and see where the pain points are right now. Daily momentum will actually turn down with any sort of a closure today below 151. So right now trading about 3 cents above that. Keep that number in mind. Again, it would be a more corrective move, even if it does continue up here with volatility this high. Still looking for lower highs on the bounce. Just targets the upside would be initiated if that criteria is still confirmed. Anyways, 5-day, what are we seeing right here? Still nosediving below 203, but it is correcting rather heftily, and we do see a nice trend line forming in from the last few lows. So that would be coming in actually right around the critical zone, but that would imply another week or two, maybe kind of hanging around the lows. 2-day is turning up as well above 139, so that is good, I suppose. And very short-term timeframes like a 4-hour are also nosediving. Not great right here, but you will actually notice that there very likely is. In fact, there is a nice trend line support coming in right around the critical zone here too, but probably not turning up anytime soon. 166 the magical number for this one. So I still kind of be looking at this one on a range resolution perspective. Long term, based off the monthly, let's see if a monthly really makes sense here. Yeah, we will see bearish divergence very likely confirmed at the end of today, which is the end of the monthly, assuming that the closures, especially anywhere below 150, that would certainly confirm it, with targets down maybe March, April region to about $1 or so. Until then, I guess you got 17 hours and 10 minutes left in the trading day. So if that condition is not fulfilled, especially if you close today, let's say above 175, that would no longer be a major concern for me, at least for the short term. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin in this case. Weekly, again, I'm probably looking more for a bounce up this region first. Can it bounce up to like $2 or so? Yes, very, very easily. But what happens after that? Well, that's the real question. That's the real problem. Similar to Bitcoin as well. 12-hour, do we have any concerning signals over here? I mean, it's not like it's not showing upside is what it's not showing, but still, that's why we have range resolution conditions. So until that is met, technically speaking, higher term time frame starting to take over, and well, I think I'll just leave it right there. I don't want to put my opinions on these ones too much. I want to go off of the data as much as possible, and then you make the decision for yourself. But I think you kind of guess where I'm going with that one, and hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Polygon, sir.